It's slow today. There we go. And we are live. Welcome to another Super Galactic Saturday. I'm Jerry Sr. with Jerry Jr.
Good morning.
And it's another beautiful Saturday morning here in Southern California. And it's not winter anymore here. At least it don't feel like it today. It's nice and sunny and it's
Never was.
warm. So I think spring is creeping in early for some reason. It is what it is.
I have no
But yeah,
complaints.
yeah, no complaints here. It's a beautiful day, and any day above ground is a good day. So today is definitely a good day. And we thank you for joining us. Thanks for your time. Thanks for your attention. And hopefully you're engaged in this conversation. We're talking about comics versus manga and why is manga winning right now. And we'll talk about some more things, but that's
Tale
a
as
big
old as
topic
time.
of the last couple of weeks. So, and then really the last few years, it's been a big topic. And there's been a lot of going back and forth and unspoken things. And I think now, because we're seeing, especially after we recently have the Oscars and all this stuff, and certain anime didn't get nominated, I guess, or didn't win, like Demon Slayer, Chainsaw Man, but they did gangbusters in theaters, wildly popular. People love those anime movies. So clearly, they're making a splash, not just globally, in China and other countries, but here in the West, here in the United States. And they're beating out a lot of traditional Western titles. And so that's, sort of causing this question to reemerge, are comics better than a manga or is manga better than comics? And,
Well, here's the
it's
thing.
easy to.
It's that
Okay.
I think a lot of people that engage in this conversation. Well, first off, that um, your what's it called? Your mic's uh, you're turning into a robot a little bit, just a little bit.
Oh, okay. What about now?
Say that again.
What about now?
That's better. But
Okay.
I
I
think
think
when
I was too far
people,
away. Sorry.
oh, okay. I think when people engage in this conversation, I feel like they completely miss the point because it's like it's not just about like you can't look at like one issue of Dragon Ball and one issue of I don't know Action Comics number you know 50 and be like,
Yeah.
see,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's not about like comparing. This isn't the typical like Goku versus Superman conversation. This is about what each this is about what the people behind each medium is bringing to the table, right? Because
Sure. Yeah.
there
Yeah.
are good comics, there are bad comics, there are good manga, and there are bad manga. So it's not really, but on average, there are trends that you see in manga culture that leads to higher sales than modern comics, I should say, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
A
usually,
good.
the easiest example I can think of is usually the anime is essentially just a big commercial to buy the manga, right?
That's right. That's exactly right. Yeah. And and this is the thing. Like comics are still selling, right? But current day or more newer iterations are not, right? Like classic stuff, classic Superman and other stuff, Batman. You go on and on. Stuff from the '90s, right? A lot of Rob Liefeld stuff, right? It's still selling. There's still hardcore fans. The problem is a lot of the newer stuff they're putting out um, it's not moving compared to manga, right? Why? Well, a lot of it is not written very well, right? A lot of it is it's just stories just aren't good. They're repetitive. They're stories that if you've been a comics fan for a number of years, let's say going on a decade at least, you've seen a lot of these tropes and these subjects before. You've seen Superman get killed before. You've seen Batman have his back broken before. You go on and on, right? It's like they keep retreading the same story tropes, uh, and it's like, and someone brought this up, commenting on X,
Yeah,
saying
that's actually a good point.
that with manga, and I wanted to shout out Rini Draws because she made the same point in one of her videos in regards to the fact that with a lot of manga stories, they just continue forward. They characters get killed off or they stop, like they reach their goal, right? Things like that. It's not. retreading over and over again. They age, they get older. Like a good example, like one thing I loved about a particular anime is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, because it's just generational. Like JoJo isn't just this one person, right? He starts with one person, but then he carries on into the next generation, grandsons and great grandsons, and so forth and so on, right? There's even a couple of seasons where the grandfather is still in the action, right? And he's right alongside his grandson.
He
You
has
know,
like a
like
mentor.
it's,
Yeah, he's a
you know,
mentor. Yeah,
as a mentor, right? It's like, that's really awesome to see, right? Like this, like we always talk about certain heroes aren't a mantle, right? Like Superman's not a mantle, Batman's not. But it's like the reality is like any hero can be a mantle. It's not about it being a mantle or not being a mantle. It's the fact that how do you do it? Like how are you passing on that legacy and how are you honoring it? And contrast that with something like Ironheart, where it's like, oh, it's a mantle, but it's like kind of this forced mantle, right? There was
it wasn't
nothing set
earned.
up.
It
Yeah, it
wasn't
wasn't
earned.
earned,
It's
and it's
immediate.
so easy to gaslight and say, oh, it's because she's a woman or she's black. It's like, no, that has nothing to do with it, right? Like there are black female heroes that everyone loves, right? It's like Misty Knight, right? Like it's like, where's her story? Where's her, But they
Right.
ignore legitimate black characters, right? That have a backstory, that have everything you want in a character, and they say, no, we're just gonna race swap, right? And then
Well,
we're
yeah, you
gonna
got
force it. We're not
JoJo.
even gonna set it up.
So you
So, and
got JoJo,
that's
but let's talk about one. Let's talk about one character, right? Because JoJo's multiple characters. Let's talk about Goku, right? In the span of Goku's life, Goku has fought He started with the Red Ribbon Army. Then he fought. Well, no. First he fought Emperor Pilaf. Then he fought the Red Ribbon Army. Then he fought Ten Shinhan. Then he fought King Piccolo. And King Piccolo is the only recurring villain, but he comes back as like a good guy. Then he fights Vegeta. Then he fights Frieza. Then he fights the androids. Then he fights Cell. Then he
mm,
fights Majin Buu, and then
yeah,
his story ends. Right. So
right,
right, but with let's like look at Batman. Right. Batman's fighting like the Joker
over
every
and over again. Yeah,
every other week between
yeah,
fighting like the Penguin and I don't know, maybe Two Face. Like he's fighting the same circle of villains in every iterate in like every iteration. At least I'll give props to like Dragon Ball GT and even or Dragon Ball Super and even Dragon Ball GT is that they bothered to make new villains. They didn't just recycle. Oh, he's gonna fight Frieza again. Well, Super did that. They did it. They did it once, but they came up with new villains for each arc. Right? They weren't just
right,
gonna have Goku fight. Frieza wasn't gonna be the main bad guy again. Right? But
yeah.
with Batman, it's like what was the last new? What was the what's a new popular villain for Batman? You can't name one. The
Yeah, I have no
last
idea.
new
I
villain.
think it was Hush, right? That was
Who?
years ago. Hush, Batman Hush. That was the
Who is?
enemy. Well, it turned out to be the Riddler. So,
Oh, so
but
it's just the Riddler.
yeah, at least
It's
in at
the
least in
Riddler.
the animated movie, it turned out to be the Riddler. So it was kind of like, oh, okay.
Okay, so
Oh,
the
Mecha
villain.
Missionary says the Minotaur. I don't know. Maybe the Minotaur. I
Who?
haven't read anything recent from Batman.
It
So,
sounds like that should be a Wonder Woman villain, but no. Like the last new Bat villain, the last cool new villain that Batman fought came out 20 years ago. Think about that. You know who I'm talking about? The Phantasm. That movie came out
oh
like
yeah, that was like decades ago. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
No, that
no,
character
that
was
came out in 1993. That was 30 years
specifically
ago.
yeah, specifically made for that movie. Like that
Right, but
wasn't even from the comics.
the
And the
Phantasm
same
left
with
more of a mark.
Ego. Yeah, I agree. That was a great villain. It was because
Yeah,
it was an old lover and all that. Like that was excellent. That's an excellent movie.
spoil it, but yeah, it ties
Well,
into
spoiler. It's been 30 years.
I know. Darth Vader is Luke's father, but yeah, no,
Yeah.
it tied it. Phantasm was tied to the Batman's past. He was just as formidable in combat, right? She looks cool. The
Yeah,
Phantasm
the
looks
costume was
cool,
cool. Yeah,
and
exactly.
everybody
She had
thought
like the
the
smoke
Phantasm was
effect and all that.
Batman. So it
Yeah,
provided, yeah,
it was a great story. I mean, it really was. And
it was like a
yeah, you're
light
right.
shadow thing. Yeah.
And prior to that, it was Harley Quinn, of course. You know, that was she was created from the animated series specifically, and then she became wildly popular. So
Oh,
she's
well,
been
that's
made
true.
canon in the comics. You know,
That's true.
yeah, and I think Clock King series.
Who?
There's more, I believe, right? Clock King. You don't remember the episode with the Clock King? He's like, you know, everything's like
Oh,
has to be
well,
on perfect time and all this stuff.
he's a old. Well, he's been around for a while.
Oh, he is? Okay, I thought he was made for the series.
No,
So,
no,
you know,
I'm pretty sure the Clock King has been around since like I feel like that's like a '60s villain.
are you sure? I mean, it's I know it sounds like it, but I don't. I think he was made for.
Definitely no,
Oh,
yeah.
and then for Superman, it was
Clock
Livewire.
King.
Remember Livewire?
Right,
She
right,
was
right, right,
brand
right.
new for the animated series. So
Clock King is Green Arrow. Oh my goodness.
that was Green Arrow's villain. Oh, it's
Right.
fascinating.
Okay.
Okay,
All right, Mega Missionary. Who do you know is talking about Punchline? When has Punchline gone viral on the internet?
Punchline. When did that character come out?
It's Harley
Punchline.
Quinn too.
Oh, get out of here. Oh my god, yeah. I mean, we made the point. I mean, it's that's kind of the point, right? It's just rehashing the
Yeah,
same characters
yeah.
and the
Because
same
Clock
villains over
King
and over.
was in. I'm looking at a live action version. This looks like the Adam West Batman. Yeah, he was an Adam West Batman. Clock King.
Oh, okay, okay, fascinating.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's you know, but even then, that was created for the TV show, right? It wasn't from the he wasn't from the comics.
I don't know actually. That's a good
That's what I'm
question.
saying. What I point out is that there was originality at some point where it was like, hey, let's make some new villains, right? Some new characters, you
No,
know. That's and
Mecha Missionary was right. So Clock King was originally a comic book villain for the Green Arrow, and then
fascinating.
they
Okay,
transformed to Batman. Yeah.
yeah. So you know, where is that now? Like we're not really seeing that in the
And
comic
it's in a
space
lot of books.
or in
Punchline? I don't know.
animation. So
To be fair, I don't know. I haven't. I don't really read
she who?
comics anymore. I guess Punchline.
Oh, Punchline. Okay, I don't know. Yeah.
Listen, I don't know anybody who talks
Listen,
about that character.
I'm reading like indie stuff nowadays. So my son, my youngest son, got me Ultimate. No, yeah, Ultimate Superman. Is that what it is?
Oh yeah.
So I haven't started it yet. I just got
Okay.
it. You know, so I'll check that out. But um, yeah, I'm really buying like older stuff right now. Like I'm buying older, like you know, like we mentioned, Kingdom Come and whatever happened
Oh
to the
yeah.
Man of
I
Tomorrow and
love
stuff like
Kingdom Come.
that. Like I'm buying that stuff. So I'm
I
not
still
really
need to
buying
read
like
that one in full.
New
Whatever happened
52
to the
or
Man of Tomorrow.
Ultimate. Yeah, that's it's a great story. So
Okay.
yeah, you know, it's like but that's one of the points she makes in the
Right,
video
but was
is
Bane an original villain from the animated series? I don't think so.
Bane. That's a good question. I think he was made for the series. I don't think he's from the comics either. I think
No,
the animated series
he was created by Chuck Dixon, 1993.
for comics.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but still, that's 1993. That's pretty recent. That's like
I
what
guess
happened.
that was 30 years ago.
Like the 90s was the heyday for a lot of comics,
That is
for
true. Yeah.
comics, you know, in the West, and it kind of fell off, right? So, yeah, exactly, yeah. To be an animated show, exactly, he was a popular villain, so that makes sense. So yeah, it's like uh, I don't know, you know, like and Jim Lee, uh, I think he commented recently about sort of why manga is doing so well compared to uh, comics, you know, and it's like he kind of said everything else but but these things, right? You know,
Yeah.
and the elephant in the room is well, you guys keep putting out bad stories. Like your storytelling isn't great. You know, even when it's at least mediocre, you still can't help yourself, and you're race swapping characters and gender swapping characters and girl bossing characters, and frankly, a lot of comic readers are getting tired of it. You know. Now I think there's sort of a, I don't want to say a new crop, but there is a crop of comic readers, Western comic readers, that still like this stuff and they're buying it. It's just not enough of it.
Right, but they're
You
not.
know.
They're not. They're not reading DC comics. That
No,
crowd you're
they are.
talking about.
They're reading Ultimate Batman
No,
and
they're not.
Wonder Woman. They are. It's just not enough of them. That's what I'm saying. There is a small
Because the
community
rest
of
of them
comic fans.
are reading manga because there's
No, I agree. I agree. But that's the point I'm making though, is they're it's like they're creating stories, right? They're creating these stories and reimagining these characters for a very small market. You understand? Like it's just a few people that are like reading this stuff, and then they'll blow it up and make it seem like, oh, look, it's gangbusters. People love it, and it's like, well, no, not really. You know, you sold 20,000. That's nice, but this manga over here, that's the equivalent. You know, it's selling 100,000. Right? It's selling 80,000. Right? You know, that's what I'm saying, and it's because, well, you're trying to appeal to a base that is too small to appeal to, right? To make
yeah.
profit. So, and that's what I'm saying. And then the irony is, yeah, those same fans are still they're reading manga. You know, like they're
That's what I'm
still they're
saying.
still
Though
buying
it's like
manga.
I know a lot. I
So
knew a lot of these people in high school and college, right? And if they're not the people who are into like gay romance and yaoi and stuff like that, they're not reading DC comics. They're reading Oron Host Club or Black Butler or something like that, or even that new Disney thing. The one that you showed me, where all the Disney villains were reimagined as anime twinks, whatever it was called. You showed it. Remember? You showed me the trailer.
no, I don't remember.
What do you mean? Don't remember? I sound crazy now.
Well, you are, but that's okay. I
Uh,
love you. But
whatever.
yeah, I don't remember actually. Is that how long ago was that?
You showed me to this, and you're like, "Have you seen this?" And I'm like, "Yeah." It was written by the same person who did Black Butler. It was the one where the Disney. It was an anime that came out on I think the Netflix or came out came out streaming, and it's essentially like an anime, but all of the Disney villains are reimagined as anime characters, like anime boys or whatever.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I
Yeah,
do remember that. Yeah, I remember. Sorry. Yeah, yeah. That was a while ago though. That was
I
like
know.
months
I'm
ago.
just saying
Oh,
that
that was
crowd
last
is
year.
they're eating that up. They're not reading.
No, no, no. That's not true. That's what I'm saying. They are. Listen, Ultimate Batman people are reading and they like it. Ultimate Superman people are reading and they like it. What I'm saying
Yeah,
is
but
it's not
Ultimate
enough. It's
Superman
not enough
isn't
people. It's not
the
enough
same
people,
as
right? Like for every 1,000 people that like Ultimate Batman, there's 10,000 that loves Jujutsu Kaisen. Do you understand? That's what I'm saying. Like the relative numbers for each, and then the same 1,000 that loves the Ultimate Batman or the others, rest of the series, they also are reading Jujutsu Kaisen. You understand? Like they're reading the manga too, and but they're not. It's like they like what they're doing on the DC and Marvel side, current day, because whatever they're more progressive, so they're open to this kind of all this stuff, right? But at the same time, they're eating up manga because it's better. It's not a lot of it is just as good, right? Because not all manga is great, right? But there's a way more great manga than there is terrible manga. That's kind of
yeah,
what's happening with Western comics. There's way less great comics and way more bad comics, right? There's this imbalance that's happening, and that's kind of what's happening. Like when you're doing apples to apples, right? It's like, yeah, there's just way more to choose from, right? So far as genre subject matter, right? There's way more, and it's easy to find. It's discoverable now thanks to the internet, right? There's a lot of sites that have manga digitized. And it's very affordable, right? A lot of comic shops, local comic shops are carrying manga now, right? So you can find it at your local comic shop.
I
And
mean, yeah,
so, and there's just way more genres that's being covered, that appeals to it's going to appeal to a broader spectrum of readers, right? Why? Because not everyone likes superheroes, so not everyone's going to care about My Hero Academia. right? But a lot of people love, I don't know, fantasy, magic,
You're
right?
breaking
So
up a little bit again.
they're gonna love Jujutsu Kaisen. I keep backing away from the mic, sorry.
No
But they're
worries.
gonna love Jujutsu Kaisen, right? You see what I'm saying? And some people love swashbuckling adventure, so they're gonna love like One Piece. I mean, you see what I'm saying? Like it's something, whatever you're thinking, whether it's mystery or science, sci-fi, action, drama, romance, it's in manga. You'll find it, and you can find it relatively easy. Versus in Western comics, it's not as easy to find, right? There's a lot of that, those topics and those subject matters, but they're not as easy to find outside of your local comic shop, right? And they're not really promoted. They have hung their hat on superhero stuff for the most part. Like what I'm saying. Like there. It seems like when you say comics, and specific to Western comics, you automatically think Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Justice League,
Spider Man.
Avengers, Spider Man. Yeah, like you just it's like those are comics, but that's not all of comics, right?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like there's other types of comics, there's other genres, there's
Well, it doesn't help that.
westerns and all that. So
That's the thing. It doesn't help that a lot of comic creators keep recycling the same characters just with different skins. Like, oh, now we have like one of the dumbest things I ever seen was Chinese Superman. I was like, why do we
wait,
need a
wait,
Chinese?
wait. Let's pull on the brakes here. What?
What? Oh yeah.
I
Uh,
didn't catch that. What?
I think I actually
Yo, Mecha Missionary, don't play around like that. Ra's al Ghul, man, get out of here. But I mean, that's kind of what I'm talking about. It's like, it's like this is modern comics.
I'm pretty sure she looks
Yeah,
exactly. Yep. Okay. Yeah. All right.
but
She
that's
looks
crazy.
exactly what I thought she was gonna look like. Hold on a second. And here's the thing with it's like whenever they do this type of character, it never looks original. It looks like the same
Well, it's
type
contrived,
of
right? Yeah, it's
person that you think it is.
because they think they're catering to an audience, and they are, I guess. But it's a small audience, and it's a small audience that's getting smaller and smaller, right? You know what I mean? Like and that's the problem.
I know, but they use
Ever
this design
shrinking.
for like five different characters.
No, I know, but well, listen, I don't. It's that's really. Let me put it this way, and like I say, watch the video by Rennie Draw. She breaks it out really well. I shared the link in the comments. Um, it's like it's not just about the visual aesthetic, right? It's about like far more weightier things. Like I mentioned, the diversity of genre, right? The fact that within the manga industry, they understand the concept of demographics, right? So instead of trying to make one thing that appeals to everybody, they go, let's make many things that appeals to many people, right? That's why you have Shonen Jump for boys and show I think it's Shoujo, right, for girls. You understand? And there's like others for like adult men and adult women and older people versus younger people and yeah, they even have a genre for trans and homosexual people, who want those kind of stories, right? That's all there, and they're all designed and written and marketed. Oh, I know that's for me. You understand? Like when you see a Shonen Jump, it's pretty easy to tell. Like, oh yeah, that's for
Yeah.
young boys and teens, right? Like, you understand? That's all I'm saying. Like, and then there's like slice of life. That's a genre, right? Just where it's just silly, fun, everyday stuff. Like it's not even like about an adventure, right? It's just like, hey, this is like our life here on this weird place or something, right?
Yeah.
And some people like that, and because they just want to like chill and just read something that's fun and kind of escape, right? So that's what I'm saying. Like you can't name a single manga or by extension anime and say it's only it's for everybody, right? You can't. It's like no, this. It's like that's why you can't go into a One Piece or a Jujutsu Kaisen or something and start, injecting certain things into it that don't belong there. Right. That's why it'll create a problem. It's like, yo, that's not really like, I know a while back there was an issue with My Hero, and what they call them, the shippers, right? The shippers came in and they were like, this character should be gay and he should be with this character. This girl should be a
I
lesbian and
mean,
she should be with that.
that,
And it's like, look, you can do that in your head all you want to. You can have your little chats and all that stuff, but it's like you can't start
um,
inundating the main channel for the
that happened
manga,
with
for
that
the
happened with
writer or
Ray.
the production company, and say you need to have this kind of It's like that's not gonna fly, right? It's like it's not made for you.
I
If
mean,
you
that
want
kind of
that, there's literally a manga that you can go read, and there it is. That's what you want. It's like, and that's the whole point. It's like it's far more difficult to do that,
well, that
and
that
that's
happens with every fan base though. That happened with Star Wars with Ray, Ray and Kylo or whatever.
yeah,
And
that's right, yeah.
they did it, and it was really weird and awkward because it's like they didn't really have a
Well, the
they had
problem was this when they first started the series, in the first movie, The Force Awakens, or whatever. It was so ambiguous, you know, and I don't think it was on purpose. I think they just didn't know what they wanted to do with that
no,
dynamic.
they didn't.
Are they going to be lovers, or are they going to be brother and sister? Right? Are they going to be related? All this kind of nonsense. And I
Yeah,
think they just didn't understand what they were doing. Just it's like when you look at the original Star Wars: A New Hope, right? No one had a clue that Leia was Luke's sister.
right.
No one. You had no idea until what was it? Empire Strikes Back, I guess. And Yoda reveals it, and he's like, Leia, right? And everyone was like, "Yo, that's crazy," right? Because, and of course, you thought, "Wait a minute, she kissed him, right?" That was the thing for a
Yeah,
while. But
that was
but you
great.
understand though, like
Yeah.
no one really saw it coming, right? Maybe there was a handful of people that may have guessed it, right? But for the most part, no one really knew. So it's like the way they played it was Leia was just another woman, and there's this sort of love triangle. He's the young, naive adventurer guy, and Han is the experienced, lover boy type guy, right? The Chad, and she's in the middle, right? That's how you perceived it at first, but then over time in the other movies, obviously they fleshed it out and they said, you know what? Let's make Leia and maybe that was always the case, I don't know, but I'm just saying it's like you didn't see it coming, but with the latest iteration, the Force Awakens and etc., you could tell they didn't know what they were doing. They really didn't. And it's say just like look at the Finn character. They didn't know what to do with Finn. Finn should have been the new Han Solo turned Jedi. That would have been an
Yeah.
amazing character arc, regardless of him being black or whatever. The fact that he's a former stormtrooper, he had that sort of swag of a Han Solo. Definitely could have pulled that out more in the writing and direction. And then to top it off, he's force sensitive, right? Like he wouldn't even have to be a full Jedi. It could have been just like, look, he's like able to wield a lightsaber like naturally, or he's able to develop certain force abilities. Who knows, right? But it's like it's just missed
No,
opportunity because
too
it was just
cool.
bad writing. Like they didn't know what to do because they're worried more about the politics of it all instead of actually just telling you a good story. You know.
So Lucas may have not. You talking about George Lucas? George Lucas may have not had the full plot in his head, but he had a vision, and he stuck to that vision.
Yeah, for sure. That's what I'm saying. Like he made out of, and that's my point, though, right? He knew the direction he was going,
Yeah,
right? But yeah, it's
exactly.
fair to say along the way, sure. At first, it was like, yeah, Leia's just the beautiful princess that he rescues, and it's a will they, won't they, right? But then by the second movie, it's kind of like, maybe this would be a cool twist, and that's what they did, right?
Yeah,
So, and that's fine. I don't think there's a problem. That's kind of my point. It wouldn't be a twist if it was so ambiguous and you didn't know. And that's what they did with the Force Awakens. You just didn't, because knowing that Rey is potentially a child of somebody, right? One of the main characters, right, or somehow related, and we know what's his name is related to Han Solo, right? So it's like there's this ambiguity, and they just didn't flesh it out very well. it was just very kind of, I don't know, you want to say lazy, but it was just poorly done, right? And I think it's because they kept focusing on the wrong things, right? They tried to. It was like they didn't want Ray to be flawed. They didn't want her to go through real challenges. You understand? Like it's like they're just saying these things happened and they happened, and that's it. But they had no inherent meaning to anything else. It was just like we got to get the thing to do the thing. And it's like, well, that's sort of a fundamental aspect of a story, but then you got to build on it, and they
Right.
just failed to do that, and that's why it just all falls flat. It doesn't feel magical. It doesn't feel special. You signal the movie. That's really
Yeah.
what it feels like.
Speaking of
In
things with no
every
inherent,
installment.
I was going to talk about Chinese Superman. So, another reason why people are reading manga over, or really anything else over mainstream comics, is that they just do this. This is Chinese Superman. Why do we need a Chinese Superman? This feels antithetical to what Superman is.
I
And it's not
mean,
like, well, you can't have a Chinese
I
superhero,
don't
but he's
I don't
really
know.
just.
Well, why do we care about a Chinese superhero? This is
Because,
America. This is America.
well, it's not even just that. It's just, if you're gonna
No,
make
but
these,
seriously, like comics are and American comics are essentially American. Why are we making a Chinese superhero at all? Why do we care?
right? But this,
And I'm not
right,
talking about Chinese American. I mean, I don't know, maybe he's Chinese American, but you're saying he's a Chinese Superman. So that means he's in China, from China, born in China, or he crash landed in China, I guess. I don't know. But you understand what I'm saying? It's like, why does an American comic company, I mean, unless they're only selling it in China,
no, they're
but
not selling it in
yeah, so it
China.
doesn't, it's stupid. It makes no
Well,
sense.
that's not really. I don't think that's really the big issue. My issue is that
There is an issue. That's part of what I'm saying. Like, when you go to Japan and you say manga or anime, they know what you're talking about. If you look at a character, like you show, I saw a video about this a long time ago, and it fascinated me because someone went around and they had pictures of like popular anime characters, right? And they were like, "Who is this a character? Like, where is he from or she?" And the Japanese people were looking at it and go, "Oh, I think they're Chinese." Or I think they're Japanese, and a lot of them got it right because they were looking at certain tales, I guess. But and some just recognize the characters, like, oh, I know
right,
that character. But
there's a
my
lot of.
point is that manga is Japanese, anime
Oh,
is
I know
Japanese.
that, but there's a lot
They're
of popular anime manga characters that aren't
right.
Japanese.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, like Vinland Saga is not about Japan.
Yeah,
It's about Europe, right? Like,
I'm
so
not
I
saying
get that,
I'm not
but
saying that you can't have an American comic book tell us here about a Chinese character, but if you're gonna make a
no,
Chinese
not yeah.
hero,
I'm not saying that either. I'm just saying you're making a Chinese Superman, meaning he represents China. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying you're making a hero that's American, but he happens to be Chinese American or Japanese American or whatever. Like, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you're making a hero for China. Why? Just like Superman is an American hero. Period. Why? Because he was made by Americans for America. You understand? He wasn't made for Great Britain or Australia, right? You
yeah,
understand? Like, he is an American hero. He landed in America, in what was it, Kansas, right? I mean,
yeah.
Smallville, right? I mean, you understand? There's a reason for all that. That because it's decidedly American. That's all. It's just like the Chinese Hulk, right? It's like, why? That doesn't
Oh,
make.
actually,
That's
he's
all I'm
Korean.
saying. Oh,
Yeah,
Korea, sorry,
he's Korean, but
but I thought he was Chinese.
I thought he was Chinese too, but
Oh, okay,
I
so he's Korean. Okay, well, whatever. But that's what I'm saying. It's like, yeah, Amadeus show. Yeah, it's like I'm not even paying attention to this. I'm like, this is idiotic. Like,
I know, but
let
it's like, why
let
are
them
they?
make their heroes, just like
Well, here's the
Japan does.
thing. This is
Japan
what
makes their
happens.
heroes.
This is what happens when Chinese people make their heroes. You get Oriental heroes. I'm not going to stop hyping this comic book up. Go read Oriental Heroes.
Fair enough.
This is
Yeah,
this is what happens when you get when Chinese people, particularly Hong Kong people,
Said
make their
Agent Hope is
superheroes.
mine. But yeah, I mean, it's
Like,
I don't know.
you know what his name is? Tiger Wong.
Make a missionary got jokes, man.
I can't.
He said
I'm sorry.
Timu Superman.
Yeah. But
He
look
cracked me
at
up
this.
over here, man.
Do you think a Chinese person is gonna read this over that?
I
No.
mean, yeah, I hope not. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's like
Do you
it
think they're
doesn't
gonna
make any sense
choose
to me. That's all you
an
understand. Like
animated
when you make a superhero, you're
over
making
Tiger
someone that
Wong?
represents your culture, your ideals, your worldview. You understand? Like that's what you're doing. So why are you making why is an American comic book company making a Chinese superhero for China, but they're selling it
I don't.
here in the West?
I don't know.
See what I mean? Like it's absurd. It's like when they did that whole Batman of all these different countries. You know, Brazilian Batman and what was it? We talked about it a while ago. The Aztec Batman. It's
Isn't that
like
like an
what
old?
are we
Oh,
doing here? It's like this is dumb.
oh, you talking
This
about
is
the animated movie?
yeah. Well, I think it was a book too. It was a comic.
I don't know.
It's like what? Why are they doing this?
I mean, they did
It's,
that in
yeah,
the
like
past.
let
Like,
them do it. Like let them. I mean, you know, let Brazilians make, and they do. Brazilians make a lot of comics. There's a lot of great Brazilian comic artists, right?
yeah.
I mean, they're amazing. So I think they got this, right? You know. So it's like I don't know. It's just it's
No, we
weird.
need to
That's
race
weird to
swap
me,
Superman into a Chinese guy.
right? It makes no sense to me.
Need
Like
a,
unless
need
you're
a,
trying to tell like this grand story of how Krypton exploded and multiple Supermen ended up on Earth, and they're all different, you know, ethnicities or something. Like that's the only way that could make any sense. Like or it's all through some type of scientific bioengineering experiment. We created our own Superman.
I mean, that's
I
probably
don't
what
know.
happened. But I still don't
But why
care.
would he be Superman? Why would he be something else? I don't.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. It just starts to get kind of like, what are we doing this for? You
But
know?
yeah, this is a Chinese manhwa, by the way. Oriental Heroes. I've talked about it before. Go read it. Tiger Wong is a badass. Um, but yeah, it's like this is Chinese people making their own superheroes, and they're a
Yeah,
hundred times
as
better.
they should. Yeah, I'm for it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they're gonna do that on their own. They don't need
One of the
us to do
villains is called
it.
one of the villain. One of the villain names is Alligator Jugular Ripper. That's literally his name.
More power
It
to them.
makes no sense.
So, but and that's what I'm saying. They can do this, and it'll be gangbusters just in China because China's
Yeah,
a huge company, they have a huge population. So they can make stuff and never have to sell to anybody else but their people. So because there's
yeah.
plenty of them. Like it's it's kind of crazy, but yeah, it's just strange. Yeah, I don't get it. It's like like why are they doing this? You know.
It's like over
Um,
here. It's like you
yeah,
can't
you're
even
right,
tell
Mecha Missionary.
real
Hugo
character.
Geek's Paragon Prime is based on his worldview, his ideology, his sensitivity to how the world works and right, and his sense of
Uh,
justice, and it's like it's clear, and that's my point, right? It's a Paragon Prime is a reflection of his its creator, right? And that should be that's fine, and that's what I mean. That's why showing me a Chinese Superman makes no sense. Would he even be called Superman if he was Chinese?
no,
Probably not, right? I mean, you understand what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't make any sense. It's the same with all the other. Like they're just virtue signals for some reason. You know, maybe DC got an infusion of Chinese investment money. I don't know.
I mean I don't know about
This
that,
is
but
this is the cost. Well, it probably is. That's why a lot of just look at remember the Transformers movie. This is the biggest tell
oh,
I've
that's
never ever
true. The
seen.
Transformers 4, yeah,
Yeah, like they
absolutely was
literally went to
China.
China for no
Yeah,
reason.
that's so
They're like, we're going
stupid.
to China. Why? It's
Excuse me.
like, and they shot the rest of the movie in China. It's
Yeah,
like, oh, well, they have it. It's a Chinese company that gave them money, right? So that's that's it. So no doubt, that's what's going on with this Chinese Superman. I wouldn't be surprised. You know, It's sad, but it's true. You know. But yeah, it's but yeah, the conversation about manga or comic, which is superior. It's like it's not really about trying to claim um, that's one is superior, right? It's like yeah, right now, right, in a general sense, based on the market, one is superior, one is performing better, right, in the marketplace. So the real question is why, right? Um, and it's like, and as I said, Jim Lee made comments about it, and I think it's like he was close. It's you know what I mean.
Jim
But
Lee.
yeah, but I think he's the head of DC. But I
Oh,
think I don't know. I don't want to say he's still missing it, but I think
well,
he is kind of,
what
or
are you
either
saying?
really, I think he's just not. He doesn't want to say it.
I mean, that's
Um,
probably it.
yeah, like because he's probably afraid to offend certain people. But I'm talking about this here. Yeah, it's so kind of slow. Sorry. Oh, there it is. Thank you. But yeah, he points out, it makes him question what
Not
is
just
missing, what's the
superhero
common,
stories,
which
but
it
a much
should.
better genres.
Yeah, it's and it's like
I
yeah,
mean,
he's right. It's a
there's
much wider
that,
range of genres, and he
but even
they succeed.
even with the genres that are pretty close to like Shonen Jump is probably the closest thing you'll get to DCU Marvel comics, right? Because it's mainly action stories, and
Oh yeah, when you're talking about hero stuff, superhero stuff, but
yeah.
what I'm saying is he's kind of edging. He's not going like I said. Dorini
Oh,
draws
I
the
know.
video. She
I'm
goes
agreeing
all the
with you.
way
He's
and
covering
lays it
the genre.
out very well. So here he kind of tiptoes around it. Like he's
Oh,
like
I
he
know.
gives me a goal
I'm
to
just
aim for, and it's like to aim for. It's like you were there, you were already there. There's nothing to aim for. It's really for you to go back to. That's kind of what I'm saying. It's like, bro, I don't know. I kind of feel like I don't know if you're purposely just not saying what needs to be said, and I think that's what
I
it
mean,
is.
it's probably on purpose, but the point I was trying to make is that people like like Shonen Jump is the closest thing, like comparison to DC and Marvel because it's mostly action stories. But people like those stories because the characters in there are aspirational characters. People relate and look up to a Hajime no Ippo, right? Or yeah, that's not his name. His name's Ippo or something. But people look up to Ippo. People look up to Goku, right? People look up to people look up and relate to Tanjiro and Jonathan Joestar and Jotaro because they think he's cool, right? Like, and you don't really. There's not a whole lot of cool. There's not a whole lot of cool modern comic book characters. And I know they just released the Absolute series, but that's still just Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman in
Right.
there.
It's the what's called the Trinity, right? I mean, and that's fine. But it's like what happens.
Why they come
I
up with
think
a original character?
that's why I appreciate Alex Ross and the Kingdom Come stories, where it gives you like, okay, what happens at the end? Okay, here's Superman. He reaches a pinnacle in his career as a hero, right? And there's this sort of ultimate event that occurs, and then there's an aftermath, right? And now we understand. Okay, this is what happens, right? With Wonder Woman and having a kid, and Batman, and he's training the next
I
generation.
mean, we talk about Kingdom Come a lot. What about Astro City? Like, where's
Yeah,
Astro
that's right.
City
Astro
going?
City, same thing. Yeah,
Like,
it's like
that's a
there's
whole
progression of
another
time, and
world of. Well,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
the only thing. But that's a whole other world of original characters
that's
with
true.
interesting.
But and many of them are inspired by classic DC and Marvel characters. But it's like,
Well, I know
yeah,
that, but
it's
many of
it's
them,
wholly original. It's beautiful, and the art is
yeah,
amazing.
there's
It's
still a
Alex
lot of
Ross.
their own thing though. Like, I wouldn't say. um, um, the Samaritan is a carbon copy of Superman because there's a lot
No,
of
but he's
quirks.
definitely a doppelganger.
Well, I know
He's
that.
an
I know that.
homage
I'm
to
just saying there's a lot
just
of
like
quirks to his personality that make him different and how he
yeah, he
handles
has
things.
very different origins too. So yeah,
And it makes his story a lot more interesting. His main villain, I forgot the wizard's name, but he's like a former slave who became a wizard, and now he's just evil and he wants to conquer the world. And one of the comics, I remember one of the comics I read, um, uh, thanks to a YouTuber for recommending it. I gotta remember her name, but like they in their like final clash, they accident like their powers are so great they accidentally destroy the universe, and they're like, oops, and so they had to come. They have to like set aside their differences and basically recreate the universe again, right? And so and now instead of like now they have this thing where like once a month or like once a year they like meet in this pocket dimension to sort of like talk out their differences instead of just fighting each other because they realize, well, if they keep fighting each other and they don't see eye to eye, then the world's going to end again. And it's like, oh well, it's a interesting take on like this all powerful like being, right?
yeah,
And it was really cool because like I said, you have somebody who's it's the perspective of somebody from the future coming into the present, which is Samaritan, versus somebody from the past coming into the future, which is the wizard guy.
right.
So he has a more antiquated view on things because he's from the past. He's like from ancient Egypt and stuff, and he travels to the future. So he's like the exact opposite of Samaritan.
Yeah,
But
yeah. I
that
mean,
stuff is cool because it's like
yeah. I mean,
they
it's
managed
original
to do
story.
something. I'm just saying they managed to do something interesting with the what we know as the Superman trope, or
Right.
the
Well, that's what I'm saying though. There's something there's a resolution. It's satisfying. It doesn't get retreaded over and over again. Right. I think that's um, that's part of the contrast between manga, current day especially, and current day comics is a lot of it is retreading the same things over and over versus giving us like there's so many comic artists, writers, creators out there. Um, Many of them are doing it on their own, and more power to them, of course. But it's like, man, it's like you were wondering why is comics like mainstream, which is basically DC and Marvel, maybe Image as well could be included. Like, why are they struggling with
this
sales?
is a
But
comic by the way.
you look at something like the Rippaverse, right? And even Ethan Van Sciver and Shane Davis, like they're doing well. They're selling comics. They're telling original stories with original characters and it's why because people want that. That's what the market is asking for, and for some reason, DC and Marvel proper they're ignoring that. Like that's there's really no what to say. They're ignoring what the market wants. They're trying to kind of shoehorn into the market something that it's not asking for. And that's that seems to be kind of the mo for some reason, and it's very odd, very strange. That's why like Jim Lee's comments are kind of weird to me because it's like, yeah, you're kind of holding back a lot. Like there's a lot you can say, but he obviously doesn't want to say it.
It's a
You know,
publicity thing.
Maybe. I mean, I think there's a little bit of politics involved, and I don't mean like
Well,
mainstream.
I mean
I mean
that's
within.
I
I
mean
mean like
just
corporate
saying,
politics and different things. Like
yeah.
I think that's a big part of it, and he has to tread water a little bit. That's my opinion. So because it's like, bro, the edge is clear, and like I said, Renee Jones' video, she lays it out very well. I appreciate that video because I'm like, man, she articulated it perfectly. It's like it's not, you know, it's not. Yeah, let me do this.
What?
It's not this, right? Manga can't do this though. Like it's not this,
Oh, it's this. You talk
right?
about the.
It's not which is like this is gorgeous. I have this book, right? So it's beautiful, but it's not about comparing artists and writers. Like this writer's better than it. You can do that as a fan,
I mean, you can compare
you're,
writing.
but he's responding to Jim Lee's comments, and it's like, bro, like that's not the conversation, right? We're not saying that American comics can't do beautiful art, right? That's obviously not true, right? We've seen some spectacular art, and a lot of it, especially
Yeah,
when you
thank
go
you.
back to like a
That's
Jack
really the
Kirby or
thing.
something. It's like they've clearly inspired a lot of manga artists as well. So it goes back
Obviously,
and forth, right? So it's like, yeah, exactly. I mean, One Punch Man alone, that's the first thing I thought when I saw this post. I'm
yeah.
like, bro, clearly
And
you
also, he's
haven't
done
read a
other stuff.
manga.
What's his name? Murata. Ice Shield 21. He worked on. Yusuke
Yeah, he's
Murata.
done a lot of stuff. Yeah, but this
Yeah,
is
he's
gorgeous.
done. He's
Like
done.
that's not no denying. It's just,
He's
but
done artwork for
nobody
Marvel. He's done artwork for
nobody's
Spider Man.
saying manga art is better than Western art, or manga writing is better than
Thank
Western.
you,
It's
Tetsuo
like
Hara.
that's not the argument. Like it's and that's the problem. I think is when you have these. I guess online social media debates or conversations is there's very little room for nuance, where it's like, yeah, bro, we're not talking about what manga can't do or can't. That's a silly thing, right? What we're saying is that the way the manga industry is structured, it's working for them. It's
It
allowing them
makes
not
money.
only to produce a lot of manga, right? And I think Rainy Jones brings up in the video, which I thought it's like, oh man, that's a good point. She's like, it's merit based, meaning that and I remember reading about how the artist and writer for JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, how he got started. He had a story, and he taught himself to draw so he can draw out his story, right? So drawing was kind of an extension of that, of his writing. And so then he would submit to the like the shonen magazines and stuff, right? And they would reject him at first. They would, not good enough. And he had to submit over and over again for some time. And this is when he started when he was probably what, I think 13 or 14, something like that, right?
Yeah,
And he just kept having to submit over and over. So he had to revise the story, create better art, all this, like basically keep pushing himself to get better, to be good enough just to be submitted to a magazine that would publish his story. Then once he finally got accepted, which took a couple of years, I think, then it gets published, and it's like, well, okay, we got a few viewers, readers that liked it. We got some good feedback, and they'll get feedback, and then he'll go back and do it again, resubmit. And just because he got accepted once doesn't mean he would get accepted again. So
right.
each time he had to make sure that he was on point so he gets accepted again, right? And so forth and so on, right? And eventually, obviously, he got to a point where he got better with his art, his writing improved, etc. And he started to publish regularly in the magazine. And of course, he grew his viewership, his readership, and then that was when it kind of spun into, okay, now you got to do a one issue manga or something, right? And you start doing
Right.
it that way and get published. And it's like that took years. You understand that? That took years. That wasn't like a few months. Like that took years of his young adult life. Excuse me, of submitting and submitting and resubmitting and honing his craft as an artist as well as a writer. And yeah, one shots, et cetera, et cetera. So it's like it's the industry itself is merit based. It's like if you're not good, you're not gonna go further, right? You're not gonna really go forward because no one's gonna publish you, right? Because they're gonna say it's not good, right? And in the comics industry in the West, I think that used to be the case, years ago, and it's kind of like what happened to that? Because I don't think that's happening anymore. Right now, it seems more like this sort of, yeah, it's I wouldn't even say it's nepo stuff. I mean, it probably is some of that, I guess, but it's more like virtue signal, right? A lot of writers are picked because they have the right politics. They
I
see,
mean, to
you know
be
what I mean?
fair,
Like they
I
agree with
met
certain
the
things, and like you got writers coming from completely different industry and genre of writing coming into comics and writing, these classic characters. It's like, okay, why are we doing this? We're
To
getting
be fair, I knew a intern for for Marvel. Yeah, I think she was from Marvel Comics, and I think you met her once, but like we both decided her art wasn't very good.
oh yeah, well no, that wasn't it. It wasn't their art. It
Oh,
wasn't the art. Yeah, her art was fine. Her art was actually very good. It was, yeah, other things.
fair enough.
I won't go into detail, but yeah, her art was actually very good. She was a good artist. It was just other things going on that had to kind of distance ourselves. So,
Yeah,
but
true.
but yeah, that's right. She was interning there, and she was supposed to be learning because how to make comics and tell stories, right? Because it was some kind of program they had, I believe, right? It was in where was it? It was like in West Hollywood or something. And
Oh, yeah, I think so.
yeah, and then they canceled it abruptly. Like it just got shut down for some reason. I'm not sure what happened, but and we know during that time, I think Stan Lee was going through some things like legally, and so that may have been part of it. That was
That makes
unfortunate too.
sense.
So, but
Yeah,
yeah, it's like it doesn't seem like that's really done anymore, right? Where you can submit an original story, right? And an editor, will read it and say, it's crap. Do this, do that, or fix this. It's like I don't know. It's more like let's get this writer because we need to virtue signal to this community, and we get I am not Starfire, right?
oh my gosh.
I mean, you understand? Like we get something like
Word of
that.
advice: just because something's in New York, someone's a New York bestseller, doesn't mean that they're actually good. Because the New York bestseller list is a bunch of baloney.
Yeah, a lot of it is kind of payola. It's
Yeah,
like radio.
I mean,
It's kind of, yeah, it's massaged a bit, right? Depending on who you are. Not everybody. I don't know. I can't speak and say, it, but it's there's some things that's on there, and you're like, really, So,
yeah,
but yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you get stuff like that, and you're like, who is this for? This is, you get self inserts, right? Like it's like, what's happening? Like this is not. And the thing is, sure, like if you go to Kickstarter and just look at like, sometimes I just peruse Kickstarter campaigns, right? And Indiegogo too. Like just like do searches like for comics or something or animation. And there's a lot of interesting projects. And there's a lot of projects that are like LGBTQ related stuff, and they get funded. Like, and I'm not talking about a
they
couple of
have.
$1,000. Like a lot of
Yeah,
them get, 50, 60, $100,000 for like some kind of book or some kind of animated something.
it's hard to
I
believe.
see it all the time on those platforms. But the difference is, it's like, look, these things are niche, right? And whoever's producing these things, they know, okay, we have a community around this. They're rallying that community to support this project, right? And it's like, that's great, you know. But like DC proper or Marvel, it's like, what are you doing? Like you're not tapped into those communities. You're like miles away, on a tower, on a cliff, waving, right? That's you're just virtue signaling. Like, and they're not looking for that. That's why they don't sell, right? You understand? Like it doesn't make any sense. Like and then you're hiring these people, and now they got the status of, oh, I was a DC writer, I was a Marvel writer, right? And it's like, or artist, in some cases, and it's like, oh, okay, but
What
then
does
what
that
they
mean? What did you
wrote,
write?
yeah, it's like he wrote something that didn't sell. So they at least get the cloud, I guess, but it's like, what good is it? Like the comic fans are the ones that suffer, like, because we're not getting good stories, right? So it's just kind of wild, and you're not really seeing that in the mainstream manga space. You're seeing, specificity where it's like, oh, okay, this is where I lean towards ideologically or whatever. Guess what? There's a genre for that. There's a manga you can grab and read, and it's right up your alley. It doesn't have to be all things to everyone, right? And you don't have to force, someone who loves like romance or whatever to read a shonen jump, story, right? Like you don't have to do that. You know what I mean? Like, and vice versa. Like you don't have to shoehorn these things in to this one genre to appeal to this other. you know, it doesn't make any sense. And I think that's why they're winning, right? It's merit based, so you're going to get, if you see a manga that's published, it's went through the ringer to get to that point. So you know, like it has to be at least somewhat good. That doesn't mean you're gonna like it, right? Sometimes you're not gonna like it, but
Yeah.
that doesn't mean someone else isn't gonna like it. You understand? Like more people will like it than not like it. Why? Well, because it went through its process, right? It probably got rejected at some point and had to be revised, and and like that means something, Um, so it's like when you have that system in place, that fundamental system, and then something takes off like Attack on Titan, and now it's an anime, and now that anime is promoting the manga and so forth and so on, right? That's kind of a beautiful thing to see, and if you look up some of these creators, it's like, wow, they have amazing stories. Many of them came from humble beginnings. For a lot of them, this is like a lifetime journey for them. Like this is something that they worked on most of their young lives, and they finally got to this point. And it's a fascinating thing, and it's like, where are we seeing that over here? We kind of used to see it, I think, but we don't really see it anymore.
Not anymore.
I think of Todd McFarlane, he was kind of like that, where kind of came out of nowhere and boom, hit the scene with his Spider-Man design. It's like, where are we seeing that anymore? And I think they're out there, those artists and those writers. It's like DC and Marvel aren't looking for them anymore.
Wait, you say Spider Man? Didn't he make Spawn?
No, I don't. I'm talking about like it was his work on Spider-Man that gave him a lot of notoriety. That's what I'm
Oh,
saying.
okay. I didn't know that.
Like
I didn't know
the way he designed Spider-Man, his webbing,
that.
things
Yeah,
like that. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
yeah. So that's all I'm saying. It's like, I don't know if that's out there right now. I can't think of anybody, but maybe there is. But that's all I'm saying. Like there's
Well, they're
a
not involved
definitive
with me.
contrast. Yeah, there's a definitive contrast in how the industries operate, and sort of this sort of earnestness and authenticity you see with manga that I think people are picking up on, which is why they're latching onto it. And then beyond that is, it's like you get the people that just see it and go, "Whoa, I love this." Then you get the people that see, "Whoa, this is popular. Let me check it out." You understand? And I think that's where we are now, where it's like people are kind of like, "Oh, okay, a lot of people seem to like this. Let me check it out for myself." And now it's this sort of snowball that's happening. And listen, more power to them, But and then we're seeing some big moves being made with anime, right? With Netflix, they've been pouring a lot of money into anime.
Yeah,
Anime
that's true.
studios. It's a Netflix animation studio. I believe they had a studio in Japan. I'm not sure if they still do, but I think they still do. And they just did a deal with Mappa, Mappa Studio, and so it's like, okay, and a lot of people weren't happy about it, and I'm one of them. I don't know if it will be a net positive. I hope it will be, um, but I'm not
I mean, as
holding my
long as
holding
the
my breath.
story is good.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Netflix is notorious for race swapping and putting on stuff that's sort of just big virtue signals, right? Um, it's so I'm hoping they won't have too much of a hand in the creative process. Like they'll just
Yeah.
basically look, Netflix, just throw money at them and step back.
Throw
That
money.
seriously, like if you're an American studio and you're investing in a Japanese anime studio, right? Just throw money at them and step back. Let them cook. Like
I mean, that's what
seriously,
we. That's what they did with
just
Spider Man back in the '70s, and we
yeah,
got
that's
it.
what I'm saying. Exactly. It's like just let them cook. Don't come in with this localization. Let them handle all that. They'll figure it out. They've been doing it for decades now, right? Without your help, right? So throw hundreds of millions of dollars at them. Let pay their artists and writers very well, and step back. Don't get into censorship, and nobody cares about censorship. Let them do what they're gonna do. Anime
Especially
and manga
animation
is
stuff.
something. There's something for everybody. So if they're making a manga for a certain group of people. Let them make it. They know what they're doing. they're making an anime. That's you understand. Like they've been doing it, so just let them keep doing. It's like if I had the money, I would just go. Look, here's $50 million. Here's 100 million, whatever. Just keep doing what you're doing. Just do more of it, right? Just make me money. Like you're already making the money. You're already popular. People, the audience is already there. They're hungry for what you're doing. Don't break it. Just keep doing it, right? That's it. So let's hope there's somebody, with authority at Netflix that has that much common sense to say,
We'll see.
let them cook. Like seriously, you know, because yeah, that's the big concern is that they're gonna start, under the guise of DEI, of localization, nonsense, just giving us anime garbage, right? And I hope not. Uh, so we'll see. Time will tell. Listen, money. You know, I don't blame Mappa for doing the deal. It can be life changing for them, their artists, their staff. So I just hope they just keep doing what they've been doing. Don't let Netflix bend your arm, so to speak.
Yeah.
And do things that are just dumb. It's like your audience doesn't want that. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. Like I said, I'm not too confident about Netflix being involved. A lot of people are pointing to like AI and all this because I guess they announced they're going to use AI for like voice acting or something like that, or I forgot, but yeah, dubbing or something. And I'm like, that's the least of. I'm not worried about
Here's the thing.
that. That's just
Well,
technology. I'm
here's the thing.
talking
They're worried
about.
about. Well, Dad, hold on a second, because they're worried about that, but they're causing the reason why they're probably considering using AI for dubbing and stuff like that is because a lot of modern localizers are notorious for changing the scripts, the original Japanese
Yeah,
scripts, to
that's right.
make
I've heard
so
about that. Yeah, yeah,
the original intention of the script is lost, right? Like recently, there was an anime that came out where it was like a Christmas episode, and you could hear the cute little anime girl say "Merry Christmas," and the subtitles changed it to "Happy Holidays." Why did they change it to "Happy Holidays"? I don't know. "Merry Christmas" isn't offensive over here.
right. It's
You get what I'm saying?
yeah,
So
I agree. That's what I'm saying. But like I said, I understand that, and I don't have a problem with them using AI with that. But I'm worried about
I don't either.
you
But
need to
I'm just
you
saying
need
they're
to have
creating
more
a little
black anime characters in your anime. You need to have more black female. You need to like that's what I'm talking about. It's like no, bro. Like you guys sit
They
back,
don't need
be
to do
quiet,
anything.
just hand out the money. That's it. Just hand out the money. Let them
At the end
cook.
of the
Let them do
day,
what they're gonna do.
I forgot which mangaka said it. But Japanese anime is made for Japanese people, so they don't have to do anything for
Well, they
you.
will if they take Netflix money. That's what I'm saying. Money is gonna talk. If they go,
I
look,
get
we're not
that.
gonna give
Yeah,
you money if you don't do what we want. That's and I'm hoping that they're not that dumb. And I'm talking about Netflix isn't that dumb. So I mean, they could be, but I hope in this case, maybe we'll get lucky.
I don't,
So, we'll see. But you understand, it's like just step back and let them cook. Let them do what they like. Why would you change anything? What they've been doing has worked. The fact that this deal exists is proof of that, right? Like you wouldn't be making a deal if that. You know what I mean? Like you're not coming. Netflix isn't coming in to rescue anime.
right. They need
You
anime's
understand? Like
help.
yeah, exactly. That's exactly my point. Like they need anime because they need content, and they need good content because the slop they've been making ain't enough. It's not keeping people subscribed, right? That's why they stopped the whole sharing accounts because They're like, oh, we need money. We need to get out the black, right? We need to get out of the red.
Yeah.
So let's force people to have their own individual account, and that doubles our money, right? That's why they did that, right? It's retarded because then they they encouraged it just a few years ago. Now it's like,
Yeah.
no, you can't do it anymore. It's like, okay, all right, bro. So yeah, they need anime. Period. Anime does not need Netflix. Period. They don't. Mappa doesn't need. I mean, I understand they want more money, because let's be honest, a lot of artists and animators and even writers in the industry aren't making a lot of money. Like they're not making millions upon millions of dollars from their stuff, right? It's this when they get these deals that they really start to come up, right? So so Netflix coming in or like what they did with One Piece, right? That's huge, right? That's huge for Oda, right? Like more power to him, and I hope he maintains strict control.
Yeah.
But we're already seeing like certain characters, like they're casting certain people for certain characters, and it's like, like a head scratcher. Like, okay,
I mean, I haven't
so
been watching the One Piece,
I haven't either. I've just heard the
but I
news.
do know that like when Oda created certain characters, he did have certain like ethnicities in mind.
I
Like
know
so,
that I know. So I'm
yeah.
not, but
So
but certain, there's certain characters. Where it's like, good and well. That's
well,
not what you gotta.
I haven't seen it, so I don't know.
So no, it's mainly it's with season two. I heard a certain announcement, but I won't get into it because I don't have the information in front of me. But
Gotcha.
it's kind of like, yeah, that sounds like Netflix intervention. So yeah, that's all I'm saying. Like, because let's be honest, like it doesn't need celebrity,
No, it doesn't. One
right?
Piece doesn't
But
need
but
a
but in the
mythical
mind
life.
in the mind of network producers, right? In the mind of the streamers, the executives, it does. That's what I'm saying, and that's what's going to happen with the Mappa deal, and so it's like they're gonna we got to get so and so to play this character, and it's like, no, you don't. Why don't you just cast to type, right? So you do a casting call, all that good stuff, auditions, and you find the right fit for the character, not the other way around. You see what I mean? It's like, don't say, "Oh, Kevin Hart would be great as this." No, if you want to make sure, and I'm not. There's no shade on Kevin Hart. I'm just saying, like,
I know,
he's
I
not
know, I
going to be
know.
fit for every role. That's what I mean. Like, don't put him in the
You don't
role
want
just
to see
because he's
Dwayne the
Kevin
Rock.
Hart.
You don't want to
Make
see
sure
Dwayne
he
the Rock Johnson as
matches. He
Chopper.
What's that?
You don't want to see Dwayne the Rock Johnson as Chopper.
No, that's exactly my point. Yeah, you understand? Like that's what I'm saying. It's like, but they would do that. That's what I mean. Because some knucklehead fans, so-called fans, wrote bots on X will go, man, wouldn't it be awesome if The Rock was Chopper? No, bro, it
No,
wouldn't. It would be
it
stupid.
wouldn't.
How about we just cast to type instead of trying to insert celebrities and everything? Celebrities don't sell anything, man. They don't. That hasn't been the case for decades now. Having a celebrity in your production, it serves only one person. That's the person who owns the production, right? So if you're a producer, you're the director, and you get a celebrity, that means you're gonna get money. That's it. The investors are gonna go, oh, you have this well-known celebrity in your production. Here's a few $1 million.
Right.
That's it. Because in their minds, they think that's gonna guarantee a return, but it doesn't. It literally doesn't. There's very few celebrities where you can just stick them in anything and it's going to make money, right? You probably name a few, like I could think of like Jim Carrey. You throw Jim Carrey into anything and people are going to go watch it. Why? Because they love Jim Carrey.
Right.
I mean, you understand? That's what I'm saying. Like, and that's true for some, but for most, no. Like, no. I used to say that about Will Smith, but not anymore.
Yeah, yeah, he said that.
Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, he
Yeah,
used,
he
he
did
used
that.
to have that. I don't think he has that anymore. So,
No.
and that's kind of my point. A lot of these celebrities are falling off. Where it's like, yeah, I don't care. Like nobody really cares. Especially if you're talking about animation and voice acting. It's like hire competent actors, like voice actors. Like don't worry about if they, like I don't care if The Rock is voicing Chopper. Like, it's like so what? Like you look at the Sonic movies and they had Idris Elba voicing
Knuckles.
Knuckles, right? And it's kind of like, who cares? Now he sounds great. He has a great voice,
I would
so
say,
it works.
yeah, it
But
works.
but that's why it works because he has a great voice, not because he's Idris Elba.
Right.
You understand? Like Idris Elba voicing Knuckles is not
Honestly,
gonna put butts in
I
the
think
seat.
the best
But
voice
the
for
fact that
Knuckles.
Knuckles sounds awesome is.
Well, here's the thing. I think the best voice for Knuckles is still from the original 3D game, Sonic Adventure.
Yeah, I agree. But and that's what I'm saying, right? Like, go get that guy, and that's fine.
I
You know,
wish they did.
I
Honestly,
mean, you understand? Yeah,
they got the voice actors for Tails from the
yeah. But
games.
it doesn't make a difference. It's not good. It's not going to make that movie one penny more just because he just. And look, I like Idris Elba. He's great. But you understand? Just like they have him as Man at Arms in He-Man now, and it's like, why? That's not going to make me go watch it. And I'm an adult. It's not going to make. It's not. It just isn't. It's if you just cast to type, guess what? You'll probably get more people wanting to watch it, right? Because you got a lot of fans of He-Man, right? Like He-Man is going to make me going to watch it, not Idris Elba or anybody else, any other celebrity. Like He-Man, like, oh, that guy looks like He-Man, great. That guy looks like the King, and that guy, oh man, Skeletor looks awesome. I don't care if it's Jared Leto or not.
Yeah.
You understand? Like, I don't care. And I think that reflects a lot of people out there. I don't think a lot of people care. Not really. It's not going to make them not go to the movie if Idris Elba is not in it. Just
Yeah.
like him being in it isn't going to put one more butt in the seat. It's not. Like, promoting the movie properly will. Right? That will, right? Promoting it as something awesome, fun to see, something for the whole family, right? Like, that's going to put butts in the seat, right? Emphasize, hey, it's a great story, it's an adventure, this and that. That's what's going to do it. But I get off my little soapbox because that's what Netflix is. While they've been on the cutting edge of streaming, right? Because they were the first and all this stuff, they're still an old school production company. They're no different than Disney or MGM or Paramount. Like all these, it's the same people that were running those are still at Netflix. They're not like young and hip, and they're not. They're it's like new skin but old money. So, and that's why you're seeing a lot of the stupidity in some of their productions. No different than it, because if they really were sort of more in tune, right, reading the room well, then they would have more hits than misses in the sense of race swapping and gender swapping. Like that wouldn't even be something associated with it, right? Because they would do it, they would know better, but it's not the case. So it's a little frustrating to think about. So I hope Netflix does not ruin anime. That's basically the conclusion here. So it's just like, man, come on. But yeah, but it's stuff like that. Um, I
This
think
meme
this
is
sums it
horrible,
up.
but it's true.
It's like I want to read the series. Where do I start? You can start at Batman from 2011, not to be confused with Batman #1 from 1940. It's like, yeah, right. Manga chapter 1, bro.
Chapter
Like,
1.
like, right?
Yeah.
That's it
It's,
in a nutshell. That's it in a nutshell. It's like there's a beginning, middle, and there's an end with a lot of most anime, most manga, right?
yeah.
Even One Piece. At some point,
Yeah.
even One Piece
Eventually.
is going to
Eventually.
have an ending. Yeah, eventually, but still, right?
It'll be
Eventually.
the final
But this
say
is
along.
this is the thing, though. Um, and I'm just looking at the anime, but I'm sure the manga is an even bigger number. But over 2,000 episodes now, I think.
No, I think it's 1,000 and
It's still under 2,000.
yeah.
But it's like it never once has have they retread old stories, right? They have not repeated a story or repeated an arc.
Well, there's plenty of flashbacks,
They've
so
they've
yeah, I
yeah,
can
there's
see
flashbacks, sure. That's kind of the beauty of, especially the newer episodes. Is there's a lot
eleven
of
hundred
flashbacks
and
where
five episodes of One
thank you.
Piece.
Yeah. And they're not like repeating themselves in the sense of, you know, facing this same enemy over and over and over and over again. It's new enemies, new adventures, new arcs, new locations, introducing new characters. It's quite amazing when you think about it.
You know what's funny? That's not even One Piece. Isn't even in the top 10 longest animes.
Yeah, it's not right. Exactly, it's not even the longest.
Crayon
Yeah,
Shinchan. Remember Crayon Shinchan used to come on Adult Swim.
yeah. Hmm.
That
That's
has 1,300
that's crazy.
episodes. The longest running uh, anime in history at 2,833 episodes, each about 20 to 26 minutes, is Sazai-san. It's over
That's wild.
2,000 episodes. That's
Yeah,
nuts.
I mean, that's all I'm saying. It's
And that's just a slice of life
and
anime.
then yeah, and they it's like it's great stories. They're not the same thing over and over and over. I mean, and there's these characters have evolved. They've grown. They've gotten older, stronger, wiser, smarter. You know, not to mention, like I said, adding additional characters. It's yeah, and that's just one anime. It's one
Yeah,
manga. So, that's one of its great strengths. You know, and it's like comics. I think kind of used to be like that. It's just somewhere it just didn't care anymore. It started just I'm just gonna make my version of Superman. I'm gonna make this version, and then you have all these conflicting versions and
I'm gonna
continuities.
have Superman, but he's paraplegic.
Yeah, well, no, that's Spider Man.
Oh
There's a
yeah, that's right.
there's literally a paraplegic Spider Man.
I know, I've seen it.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, why would you? Oh my god, it's like it's so tone deaf. Like, there's nothing wrong with having a paraplegic character. People aren't mad at a person in a wheelchair or who can't walk. What they're mad at is like, why are you being lazy? Like, make a paraplegic character that's unique, right? Like, I don't know. Like, I mean, you got Professor X, right? And he's psychic. He can move things. He can levitate. He can, right? Read minds. All this cool. Like, he's a cool character, and he happens to be in a wheelchair, right? You understand? Like, you can do that again with other characters. Why not? Right? Where it's like they have to be psychic. It could be something else. I don't know. But like I remember there was a movie where it's kind of like Iron Man, where this guy was paralyzed, right? And so he created a suit, right, that will help him walk again. But
Hmm.
then, as a consequence of that, the suit was so durable and strong that he started to use it to fight crime because it was like bulletproof and all this stuff. He had sensor arrays inside. It was like an old school Iron Man, right? I can't remember what it was called, but it was actually really cool. I remember watching it as a kid, and I was like, that's kind of awesome. Like, he's paralyzed and he can't walk, so his first, his secret identity, right? It's like, when he's out and about, he's just in his wheelchair and just doing his business and talking to people, family, right? And no one suspects it, obviously, because he can't walk. So no one's gonna
Right.
think, oh, it might be that guy in the wheelchair. Like, they're not. It was like the perfect
Yeah.
cover, right? And then he goes to his secret lab and stuff, and he gets on. And I think he had an assistant, and
Riding
he
the
gets on
wheel.
the
It's crazy.
apparatus and he gets in the suit. And I remember he had a special van, right? And so in the van he could just drive around, and then if he saw something going down, he would just go to the back and get in the suit.
Imagine,
Then
imagine if somebody did accuse him of being the superhero. They'd be like, "Sir, what is wrong with you? He's in a wheelchair.
yeah, right,
Oh, you're
like, it's kind of
superhero."
wild, right? But it's
Yeah.
like, that's, to me, that's imaginative, that's innovative, that's fun, right? It's like, and now it's like, for lack of a better word, it's the virtue signal, but it's like done with a bit of more respect, I think, for the
Right, but
character, for the
it's not really a
dynamic.
virtual signal is
Well,
about
yeah, it's not really a virtue signal, but I'm saying it's there though. It's like, hey, we see you. Here's a character that reflects you, but we're gonna make him awesome. And like, hey, what if he could walk, but he had this special suit and all this kind of stuff, right? I'm like, that's to me, that's amazing. That's fun. Versus a paraplegic Spider-Man that's literally swinging through the air in a wheelchair. It's like what? With walking. It's like this is. I don't know. It's just so idiotic. Like, what are you talking about? And it's like, and why is it Spider Man? Like, why are you making all these versions of Spider Man? Come out with something new, different. Like, I don't know, but
I think I think people took because I guess I think someone they took Stanley's words a bit too literally, and they're like, "Yeah, we could put anyone behind the mask," but that's more of a I don't know.
well,
That's
it's
a way
true.
to
You
go.
can, but that's not the point, though, right? It's
I
like
know
the
that's
the
not the
point
point.
is he could represent anyone. He could be anyone, right? Because not because of the mask, but because it's a person under that mask that has a normal life like we do.
Right,
You understand? Like that's why.
that
Because
was the point.
Peter Parker is a teenager who has the same problems we have as teenagers, right? He has crushes on girls. He has bullies at school. He struggles with homework and keeping up with studies because of he's being a hero, but also because of other personal issues like at home with Aunt May and all this kind of stuff. And you understand? Like he's a person. He's a regular person who has an extraordinary ability and does extraordinary things with it, right? That's literally the point, right? So it's not about he has to literally look like a black man or look like a Mexican. Like it's not that at all. It's the fact that he's human. That's it. He's human. He's like us. He's human, right? And so in saying that, it's like we don't, you know, no shade on Miles Morales, whatever, but we don't need a black Spider-Man. We don't need a female Spider-Man. We don't need a paraplegic Spider-Man or Asian Spider-Man. Just make a different character. We have Static Shock. That was a different character. That was new, right? Not
Yeah,
that new, but newer. We
he's
got
better than
like
Black Lightning.
Black Lightning. Black Vulcan, Black Lightning. I don't know. People say that, but I don't know. I always like Black Lightning when he's on the Super Friends. So, you know, but that was Black Vulcan. Yeah. See.
Is there a difference?
I don't think so, but I think it's
I
just the
don't.
name, and it may have
Yeah,
been changed for the series versus the comics. I'm not sure, so you have to look it up. But
I feel like Static
it's
was just a more fleshed out character.
yeah, I suppose so. And of course, they made him more like a Spider-Man in the sense that they made him a teenager and all this stuff.
Yeah, I
They gave him
definitely.
the same sort of dynamic. Teenager, he was at a single dad instead of a single grandma or aunt or whatever, that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah,
So and it worked. I mean, I liked the series, so the animated series it was fun.
yeah, it was great.
Yeah, so
4 seasons.
yeah, it was decent. So it's like, yeah, like what happened? Just gave up on creating original stuff
Yeah.
for some reason. I don't
Also,
know why.
thank you, mentioned Missionary. It was Hideki Anno who said that. I think you shared the quote with me where he was talking about anime is made for Japanese
Yeah,
audience.
that's right. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It
Shout out
is.
to Hideaki Anno. He's done a lot of questionable things in his anime, but I stand with him on
I
that.
mean, that's the nature of anime, right? But yeah, he's right. It is for the Japanese. I mean, and that's fine because just because it's for the Japanese doesn't mean that it's not something that we can't enjoy as
Right.
non-Japanese, right? That's like I said. I
We,
mentioned
we,
Vinland Saga. That's a
we
great
enjoy
anime, and it has nothing to do with Japan.
yeah.
That's all I'm saying. Like,
Or-
there's so many anime out there that do have a mass appeal, right? Because it focuses on a specific genre, right? That's kind of the interesting irony of it all, right? Like I said, like
yeah.
One Piece, or Jujutsu Kaisen, they have a mass broad appeal, right?
Yep.
But yet it's a specific genre of anime, right? So, and the same with manga. So it's like, yeah, it's right there what to do, And there's a time where the Western comics did do it, and they stopped doing it. It seems so. The key is to go back to doing it, right? You know, make some Western, some comics about the old West, right? Make comics about romance and adventure, like you used to,
Yeah.
right? You used to call them pulp magazines,
Pulp
right? Like,
Fiction, yeah.
yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like that's why with Jim Lee's comments, it's like, bro, you know, you know what it is. So you just don't want to say it. It's like we got to go back and do what we stopped doing. That's really what it is, and stop doing what we've been doing. you know, yeah, that's the key. So, but yeah, I mean, that's kind of my rant about it. Like it's a big conversation. And listen, it's not anime is not going anywhere
No.
anytime soon. Um, Even with Netflix and Mappa, that's just one studio. So Netflix is not going to ruin all of anime. It's just we'll see what happens. Hopefully they'll have more hits than misses, right? So I'm hopeful for that because them, producing more and working with studios directly and basically giving them a lot of money to do what they've been doing is wonderful if they allow them to keep doing what they're doing. So what they've been doing. So we'll see. I'll try to be optimistic, I guess. So, but that's all I have for today. I don't know if you have anything else you wanted to talk about or bring up.
No, I think that's it.
Yeah, so thanks for joining us today. And remember to go to our website, supergalacticfantastic.com, and sign up to our email list. And you'll get a free 12-page digital comic. And I'm still working on that AI comic. We'll see. We'll see if you like it. I'll just share it on X, I think, and it'll be a digital, you know, and of course it'll be free. So 'cause I would like to get your feedback and everything. So that's kind of why I'm doing it. It's a fun and interesting experiment for me to see how far I can push it and if I can create an actual workflow. Right, it'll be interesting. So because listen, AI is not going anywhere. So I think for artists out there, instead of being mad, try to figure out how you can leverage it to be more efficient or to do more volume, or I don't know, incorporate it into your workflow somehow, and reap the benefits, while you still can. So, but yeah, that's it for me. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for hanging out with us today. We appreciate you guys, and I have a super galactic Saturday.
We'll see you around.